Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Benefactor at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Corinne, Felicia, and Kate with their adventures in Illyria. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder. Check out the options in the chat bar below. You can join our wonderful community, as so many others have, by joining our Discord. Look in the channel notes for the link, or you can support us in what we do by becoming a subscriber. We haven't got Nick today, so we're going to be rehashing how this session's going to go. If you remember how the last one went, it was going to be a little bit Nick-centric, but I managed to make some adjustments. So let's go to the temporary city of angels, Ostergeld, in episode 144 of the Benefactor.
Everything is fine.
And we're back, and hello to our players.
Hello.
So, as I said, we've got a slightly different session than the one I planned. Well, it's actually going to be contiguous with what I planned, but without the use of farewell. Okay. When we last left off, you guys had come back from reconstituting Lilith in the last of the places where you would find the canopic jars, and you came back to Ostergald. You found out that Renata Green started being attacked by some cultists, and when we last left off, you went to the various clerics of Ostergald, and you were trying to see if you could get an audience with Pelor. Okay.
Yeah. And oh my god, so like, hey, this is kind of your guys' responsibility. Help.
So a thing that both Farewell and the other clerics would have known is that you can make a thing called a convocation. Convocation would be to call an angel from each of the gods to discuss things. Now, individually, the faithful can call down an angel for their own personal business. In this particular case, as long as you can get a cleric of each of the dawn gods to absolutely, I do apologize. As long as you can get a cleric of each of the gods to get together, that's all you require to make a convocation, assuming that your cause is just. Now, you know that your cause is just because you're trying to bring back a champion of Pelor and fight an ultimate evil. You know, you kind of pre-qualify for that. All you need is the clerics to agree. Now, you went straight to Kiala, who was a cleric of Pelor, and she said that she will make the arrangements with the other clerics, and they will come together and create this convocation for you. Now, Kiala did say that she wanted to have what would we call it? She wanted to have Farewell as the ambassador, and that still currently the case. You are told to come back in a couple of hours. And I know they wanted dawn, didn't they?
Yeah. I know they wanted farewell. Well, farewell is technically the most powerful.
Yes, they wanted Phil to be one of the people to be the cleric for the convocation of the Raven Queen. But they said that they wanted to start it at dawn because dawn, the first time that light comes through into Pelor's cathedral is the time when Pelor is in ascension. Yeah, yes. He is the strongest there. You would have thought it'd be midday, but apparently it's dawn's first light where people feel hope the most. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get you to prepare overnight. And then after that, go straight into this. So you finish up at the cathedral and you go back to the Hawk and Harness. At the Hawk and Harness, there's a usual crowd there. And is there anything you want to discuss amongst yourselves before the convocation tomorrow? And I will be farewell in this case if you need to speak to him.
I mean, Glory's not gonna butt into this. This is Eclipse's business.
Glory. Don't piss off the gods/angels.
I wasn't planning to, my dear.
Lilith turns and says, I think Miss Tezcatlipoca will be able to handle herself with this. Her family are renowned for being able to handle atypical situations. At least that's from my reckoning.
Indeed.
So what are you hoping to get out of this? This is Lilith at the moment, by the way. What are you hoping to get out of this?
Help?
Well, what kind of help? I mean, I don't know about you, but if I had a deity that was landing on my doorstep, I'd be planning on what to ask for. I'm sure that Mr. Barebones will be able to, well, manage the situation. But really, it's you who's asking for all the details. Are you going to be asking specifically for him to be released, for my beloved to be released, or are you going to be asking for knowledge, power, for example?
Mainly knowledge, I think, because I want to know more about this motor divinity that defeated the architect's manifestation last time and also created you.
Well, with me, I think that was just gods being cryptic gods, to be fair. Whilst I was being successful in my mission with Jordan, I felt his purpose, his love, his unwavering faith, not in any god or demon, but in the people around him. He was ready just to be there for them.
I mean, he was a champion or paragon of Pelor.
He was. And I remembered asking him, life, mortal life, so fleeting. Why bother? Anything that you can build up can be smashed down tomorrow. It's what my kind were very, very good at doing. I remembered there was a king a long time ago. I was dispatched to seduce many of his court and do what I did best. But there were other demons there that were devils there that were meant to make sure that his ruin was complete. This was a man who he was hell worthy, but he's not exactly what we would call a champion of hell. Hell is about function. Whether you like it or not, we have a purpose, we have a place.
Function and imprisonment, is it not?
If were it not for us, would so many people turn to the light? Those who are beyond redemption belong to us.
I mean, there are other evil gods than just the big red man.
Well, they like to think they're important. Not that I am Team Asmodeus anymore, you understand, but he is the only god to have stepped in front of an entire court of angels and throw themselves upon himself upon their judgment, and for them to find him innocent, or at least not guilty.
I think innocent is the right word. Not guilty is the.
That'll be a theological question.
Indeed.
So yes, I remember this king. He built so much up. He was so proud of what he had built there. He said it was for his nation. He said it was for his people, but it wasn't. It was for his ego. All it was his own self-centered pride. When you point pride inwards, it's the very worst. The sin that can subsume you. And we used it. Before he died, before he went down to the pit, became the plaything of my kind. We had a surprise there for him. As he died, he watched everything he built fall to stone, fall to rubble. It's one of the few times that we actually ended up having to manifest as the other side. We turned up to several paladins, managed to convince them that we were angels. It took a little bit of skill, but to be fair, if you turn up as an angel to a paladin, they don't really like to question you. So we had the other side do it. Tear the place down. That was the last thing he saw. Now, if I saw in that moment any moment of remorse because he truly believed what he was doing was good for the country, for his people, I probably would have gone easy on him. But no. The only look on that man's face was of insult. He was insulted that we of all people would punish him for his crime. He felt that he was above everything. That's why we exist. So hell is about function. I'm sure some of the others justify their existence in other ways, but we sincerely believe ourselves part of the Holy Order. I keep using we. I'm not we anymore. But the point is, we took that man's entire life's work. We got rid of it within a few hours. But I asked Jordan, what legacy did he want to leave behind? Started speaking of the Golden City, of the places he had conquered, of the stories of his battles and his conquests. And he said that none of that mattered to him. He said that the one thing that mattered to him was that this boy, this Austran boy, left Naruka and changed the world. That to walk out with noble purpose was all that was required. And he said, if anyone needs curse his name, they could make it that he could be completely forgotten, that the city would no longer exist. And as long as every true soul felt that they could step out into the world without fear, with possibility leading their way, then that was enough. That was one of the things that made me fall in love with him, you know? I found the indomitable part of him. Yes, the fame, the glory, the stories, the artifacts, all the rest of it. I realized that they are but a side effect of what it was to be Jorodan. To be Jorodan was to be free. Free to take any part of the world that you touch and to heal it, mold it, build it, give it to someone else. That's what it is to be Jorodan. He was a peerless warrior, true. But I don't think that if you bring my love back to you, you'll truly understand his strength and what he will bring. Does that make sense?
It makes sense that you're truly deeply in love with him.
It's more than that. In order to make sure that my love is true, I also have to be his harshest critic. Arguably, there were far better warriors out there, far stronger monsters and beings. But no one had that spark, that hope. So much hope that he could give it away like a flask of everlasting water. He would fill everyone's glass with it full. Think on this. When you speak to the convocation in the morning, this is what we want with regard to this architect. All we want is tomorrow.
We would like to not die, please.
No, it's more than that. Not wanting to die is selfish, it's survival, it's obvious. You have a chance within your own lifetime to create tomorrow. And I don't mean the day after this. Think more on that than anything else. I've lived thousands of your lifetime. And in many ways, I've achieved not even a fraction of what you already have. I hope to redress that balance. I started when I fell for my love. But being that I believe I still have quite a few years left in me, I'll try to make a difference before I join him in the Astral Sea. Anyway, enough of that. I need to rest. This has been an emotionally charged day. We're so close. Seeing everybody marshalling for him, even now, hundreds of years later. Anyway, I'm going to get some rest. And she excuses herself and walks up to her room. Cora.
Mm-hmm.
As you're listening to this, you can feel a certain amount of emotion rippling off Lilith. As she walks away, you can feel vulnerability. She's open, raw. Once she gets so far, there's too many emotions of other people around you to get a perfect read. And if there's nothing else, you go to sleep. Anything else you would like to discuss?
I mean, if you have any advice on what I should actually ask other than this guy is your responsibility, you need to tell us how to defeat them and also how to get Jordan back and what is the connection. Because you guys know where I will ask it. I will ask it straightforward and leave no room for interpretation, because that will just mess us up if we leave room for interpretation.
True, I guess. The problem is they've had, I don't know, a very, very long time to do this. Why would us asking them do it?
Because gods can't always act on their own. They need mortals to act through them, for them, I think.
Farewell looks at you with wide eyes going, broken clock twice a day? Where'd you get that from?
I can listen.
He looks at you kind of almost agog at this. And what she said. I can't believe I'm saying this to Baxi. No, what she said. Gods can't act. If they did, they'd be acting all the time. They react. That's how it kind of works.
No, I get that, but they attacked before and they broke or whatever they did a long time ago. Why didn't they react then? Like, I mean, I don't know why just going, hey, fix this is going. Why would they? Why, if they haven't bothered to do it before, why are they going to do it now?
There's a lot of information we're missing about the architect. We have a small guess of what his nature is, but what more we can, they would know more about his nature and also his what he wants, other than, because I want it to be more complex than, oh, I want to play with the world more, ha ha ha. There must be something more to it, I feel like.
At which point Farewell goes, well, now you're talking. Asking more about the motivation of the architect. What grudge does he have?
Yes. Does he just want to... Is his grudge specifically against the gods? Does he want to destroy all the gods because they cast him out? Is it that?
Farewell says, well, part of it, from what we've heard so far, is that he only part made the world, and they got him to stop. They imprisoned him before he was able to complete what he considered to be perfection. What was that thing that they said? He kept remaking the world because nothing he could find was perfect.
Yeah. Do we just have to remind him that there is no such thing as perfect?
I would have thought better people than us would have shown him that.
So why can't we put him in a place where he can just keep doing what he's doing and not be harming anyone?
Farewell leans forward, points at Cora and goes, now that's a question you ask a god.
Yeah. Well, so if they can help, rather than just saying you need to deal with this, we need to ask them how we can assist them, or if they can assist us in our task of creating some sort of place where he can go, or weapons that we can use to fight him, or spells to open portals or whatever to beam him somewhere else that isn't a danger. Like, I feel like they'd be more inclined to help us with that than just being like, you need to deal with this, deal with your problem. So we need to be more specific in our asks, I think. Like, as you say, what were they after? They were after perfection. So we either stop them for good, which clearly the gods themselves didn't do, and therefore can't, so that feels like that's not going to happen, or...
Again, mortals can do things gods can't. There is a...
Damn right, that girl. Damn right. And that's thinking with gods. You can see on a table just across from you is a very, very overweight dwarf. He's got actually quite a short beard. It's quite long. It covers quite an area, but it's not that long. He's he's got a wide head, really wide arms, and all the rest of it. Seems to have a certain amount of strength to him, and he's currently. Some people pick up a chicken drumstick and eat it. He has the entire chicken in his hand. He's currently just taking bites out of a whole roast chicken.
Of course.
And he goes, "That's thinking with gods, that is. You see, the gods, when they first made all this, made rules, didn't they? Yeah? Like, as we would say in the Kurdish," slaps his chest. And you can see that there is indeed the plate glove of cord. And he goes, "That's what it is, isn't it? Rules of engagement. It's what keeps everything together." And that...
Isn't that why I heard the story about Vecna, the keeper of secrets? I don't know his title.
Arsehole.
Yeah,
arsehole is what he is.
Big arsehole. But he was originally immortal, but the gods elevated him to godhood to essentially bring him on the same playing field with them and placating him.
You're well read, miss. You're very well read. Yeah. I mean, it's that's exactly what it was. The problem with, well, him, right, the sneaky bastard, is that he was getting too powerful. He was getting to the time where he got the power of the gods, but none of the rules. Truth be said, that may have been what was happening with the Raven Queen as well, except they liked her. Yeah? Same difference where they said, look, you got to sign on, got to take the king's shilling, or whatever the gods take. But that's because they became too powerful. Yeah? Immortal, able to use great magics, completely unbound by mortality or limitation. He stops to just get the chicken fat off his beard with his sleeve. I said, "That's what it is. Yeah, you see it. You see it in people's eyes. Yeah, I've seen it. Warlords. Back when I was working in East Ostagar, East Vardencourt, yeah, there were these desert princes, yeah, before the Synod came along. And they were the ones who ruled over that area for the old empire, right? Well, they're part of the empire back then, right? And they were crazed with the power that they had. They had absolute jurisdiction over their area, yeah? They got more powerful and more powerful. And what started off as charismatic leaders of the people ended up just believing that they were completely beyond reproach. It's like that guy that Lilith girl was saying, yeah? He looked in the eyes of a devil no less, with insult rather than fear. Bet he feared him when he got down into the pit. But that's the thing, isn't it? You can see from some of the stuff he's wearing, he's either a paladin or a cleric, you're not quite sure. And he takes a moment to just rip some more of this chicken off. And in between chews goes, "That's what it is. That's what makes the difference, right? Think of it like that game, chess, yeah? The rules, if you're a god, is that you're sat in the chair. Now you can't knock over any of the opponent's pieces. What you got to do is move them into the right place. Now you can give them advantage because you guide them into the right place. You have abilities for them. All the pieces do different things. You make sure the right people, the right abilities are in the right place. But ultimately, all you can do is set it up and hope for the best. And that's the interesting thing, see? For all the power and all the influence that these gods have got, in the end, power's in your hands. That's what it is. Makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? Of all the gods we've got, I mean, you've got, let's count them off. You've got Bahamut, got a justice, got Moradin, got a crafting, you've got Evandra, luck, got Pelor, hope, awe, wonder. Corellin, he'd be for magic. Arathis, invention, and, civilization. Ayum, knowledge, obviously. My own boy, Cord. Strength and protection. Then Melora for pretty much anything natural. And then Sarni, well, she does her own thing, but, lovers like her. And then the Raven Queen herself. All of them, no god of fate. You would have thought that they'd have it sus between all of them, yeah? And yet they all seem to be slaves to fate. If you believe in fate. I mean, the Raven Queen is supposed to be about fate, but you think about it, she's more like a goddess of destiny, really, isn't she? Inevitability. There are rules. That's why she's the goddess of dying. That's a rule. Everyone's got to die. Yeah? If not, they're gods. Yeah. I heard somebody say once that she wasn't the goddess of dying. She was the goddess of ending. Now that's an interesting one. Because destruction is actually Grumsh. Or, let's see. No, probably just be Grumsh. He's the god of destruction. So you would have thought that he'd be the god of ending, making sure that ending happened, right? But he isn't.
There's a difference between ending and destruction.
Exactly. That's the thing. He wants destruction to happen. He promotes it. Where she keeps it that destruction is a thing that exists. Because it's got it. Otherwise the whole thing doesn't work, does it? Right? Can you imagine how weird it would be for my forebears to be there hitting rocks trying to get a tunnel working and destruction not working? Yeah? We'd just be stuck there, wouldn't we? Yeah? What if we never died, but we kept on breeding? Yeah? We'd all be this big sea of people flopping on top of each other like fish. Yeah?
Yes.
Right? You pity the ones at the bottom, especially if everybody has to go to the loo. Yeah? Well, there we are. There we are, isn't it? Everything's got to work. They are basically how it all works. But they can't be the absolute overlords of fate. Not even a Raven Queen. And you see that Farewell goes, yeah, I mean, she makes sure that fate happens. She's more of a custodian of it, not a mistress of it. Yeah, exactly. Now, people can play with it. People have played with it. I mean, you look at them chronomancers, yeah? They're playing with fate all the time, nudging us onto different tracks and things like that. A whole new order was a point where...
Isn't Chronomancers that there exists no more Chronomancers? That's correct, is it not?
Not anymore, not to my knowledge. Yeah. And if we found him, we'd have to kill him anyway. It's a holy divine law. But the point is, it has been done. The whole new order, the fact that we've got ancients that can't remember parts of their lives. We've got gaps in history books. Sometimes literally, sometimes the page is just blank. All because of the new order. This entire reality that we are in is patched together like a vase dropped on the floor, smashed, and then stuck together with putty. Yeah? That's what you've got to remember. It's not like you've got a lovely jug that you can just hold by the neck. They're worried about that. At the moment, the gods are holding the world like that. They're afraid that if they hold it by the handle will fall off. They hold it by the neck, the bottom will be too heavy and the rest will fall off. It's a broken jug. Here. Look after your jug. Yeah? That's what it is. According to me, anyway. But what do I know? I'm just a bloody friar, aren't I? Well, I tell you what, whilst all these other people are there having to preach, I get all the time in the world to think. I tell you what, it's best bloody chicken in the city here. Lovely, lovely stuff. Nice spice, Gov. And Nucky goes, oh, thank you very much. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Gives you a wink, stands up and walks out.
Nice.
You've just met the core representative of the convocation.
Yes.
He deliberately followed you to test you out. Yep. So yeah, you get a feeling that you're kind of on the right track with this this train of thought.
Yes.
Oh shit! I was in the middle of generating characters, and I did not see the wild magic burst. I do apologize, Hermit. Roll it now, and we will see what happens.
Oh, when talking about Chrono. 70.
Okay.
5.
70 and 5. Oh, oof. Okay. I'm just gonna do it as is. As the Cordish friar walks away, you do see that a few people are starting to look a little bit woozy. You've seen people who have drunk too much. This doesn't seem to be it.
Yeah.
And they're like a little feverish. I would like everybody to make Constitution saving throws, please.
Very well.
6.
Okay.
What are we rolling, sorry?
Constitution saving throws.
Constitution saving throws.
Thank you, Felicia.
Let's go. 10.
Okay, this is going to be fun. Right, so in order, Glory, you have a strange sensation. You quickly reach into your bag and pull out a small amount of powder. This is simple enough stuff. And very unladylike in front of everybody else, you spit onto the center of the paper, which has been treated with a kind of powder. Mm-hmm. And the powder immediately turns like a nut brown color, from white to like a really nutty brown color. At which point you're like, I've been poisoned. You focus yourself and just suddenly just pull on this draconic constitution, and you feel like almost acid is passing through your veins, and you purge yourself of the poison. Eclipse and Cora, you suddenly feel very nauseous. very, very nauseous. Your stomach starts to churn. But instead of you feeling weak, shivery, the usual things you get with fever, you start to feel angry. You start to feel like you just need to get it out, like you need to fucking hit someone. You watch as Farewell goes, huh? What's it? Oh, what? That wasn't him, was it? And he's starting to slur his speech. It wasn't him. Couldn't be him. It was God. This is God. Hey.
What's happening?
Oh no. And he starts vomiting heartily under the table. You can see that that his hand that's still on the table holding him up starts banging the table hard. And he's of a strength that he's going to break the table in a minute. You are both feeling irritated, angry, like there's something writhing in your gut that wants to get out.
I go punch the nearest person.
Give me an attack roll.
Is that me?
I will hit the NPC generator. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Do me an attack.
Unarmed strike. Boom.
Yep.
Oh, unnatural 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Oh shit. Yeah. You walk up to.
I kind of run. I kind of do a, and then just leap at the nearest person and.
Yeah. You jump out of your seat. And you can see someone's getting up, a very elegant-looking trans female in a kind of like a desert, like clearly a traveler, kind of like desert clothing, yeah. So loose but made for movement, and as I say, very beautifully elegant. The hair, her hair is in really complicated braids that just looks beautiful. But you just lean into the irrationality of it all, and you're just like, right, you're having it, missus. And you go to punch her. I mean, she is nearly 2.5 times your height. So
I'd probably get her right in the hip or something.
Yeah, go in the hip, kind of thing. Yeah, so you turn around and she looks at you. She can see you. She, seems to be very aware, very lithe, very quick moving. And she kind of looks at you and she goes to kind of duck her hip out the way, just kind of almost a dance move, just swing her hip to the side as you swing for it. And the last minute, your hand is a blur and you just wham, hit her in the hip. What's your strength modifier?
It's not very. I don't think it's very much. Hold on. Strength or nothing. It's a 0. It's
okay,
10.
so that's 1 point of damage you do.
Yeah.
You hit her for 1 point of damage, and there's this kind of wolfish grin that looks very alien on her face. She is going to return the favor. By the way, the second you hit her, this churning in your stomach, almost like something swimming around in your stomach, completely disappears. She's going to go to attack you back.
I punch Glory.
Dirty 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, definitely hits me.
And I need to get the appropriate dice. Go. Hey, she done good. You take 14 points of bludgeoning.
Did she knee me in the chin or something?
No, she backhands you across the bar.
14 points.
Like a golf swing, but with the back of her hand.
Nice.
She fucking punts you over the bar, and you fall in amongst the bottles and all the rest of it. It's good. And at which point, the second that she does that, she looks at you and the wolfish grin disappears, and she goes, "Oh my God, I've hit a fucking celebrity. I'm so sorry." And she goes behind the bar and she's just like, "Are you all right?"
I'm like, "Oh, that was good. Sorry. I don't know what came over me, but I just had to hit something, and I feel better now. So, thank you. Sorry,
As
did I
this
hurt
happens,
you? And
the bar goes on the weirdest single round bar fight you've ever seen. It's the oddest fucking thing. We'll get to you. It's the oddest fucking thing that people get up, punch each other, and immediately apologize.
Love it.
By the way, I fucking love that.
Let chaos reign.
That wild magic table. That was one of the oddest ones I've seen. So yeah, Eclipse, you just feel this thing coiling in your stomach. You're gonna puke. But you just feel like if you just do something, just expend energy out of your body in some way, and you're really thinking that hitting somebody's a good idea.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Glory.
Okay, so yeah, what are you going to do to Glory?
Where's my? Yeah. So I have my natural weapons.
Incidentally, Glory, you are not. You're not taken in by this at all. You're just like fucking amateurs. It's like either we've all been poisoned, or it's some interruption with the ether winds, or something like that. But fucking amateurs. You're surrounded by idiots. Just all of this is erupting. Everybody else in the bar failed automatically. Everyone, including Farewell, failed.
Lovely.
He did something else to make sure he didn't have to hit somebody.
Table.
I don't even.
Yeah, literally the only person who succeeded was Glory.
Because I am rolling with a -1 on a punch. Or am I allowed to use dexterity for my natural weapons that apparently are using strength?
Oh, you want to scratch her?
Well, no, I want to punch her, but
your natural weapons are your claws. If you want to use dex, you have to use your claws.
No. 13, I whiff.
I'm going to say it's not that you whiff. It's just that Glory's skin now is dragon tough. It's getting close to dragon tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll allow Felicia to denote the narrative, but if you want, you can say that she hit and did nothing, or that you dodged or blocked or whatever you want. But how would Glory have managed this?
As you get close to hit her, the skin just ripples and dragon scales are there, and your hand just glides off instead of doing anything.
Yeah. And there's just this, and she's back to perfect skin again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do I relieve myself of my aggression?
Yeah. The second that you hit her, even though you kind of embarrassed yourself by not doing any damage, suddenly the coiling in your stomach no longer is applicable.
Yeah.
Incidentally, this one was the evocation themed wild magic surge table. And this is one that I just got off Reddit, so thank you, the epic creation on Reddit. So nice to 70, thank you, was each creature within a 30-foot of you becomes poisoned for the next minute. When the poison condition only ends on a creature when it attacks or casts a spell. But I dressed it that the most obvious thing was aggression.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that. That's the both the epic creation and major oxytocin. So thank you for you. Anyway, yes, you the strangest bar fight ever to happen, where everybody made one single attack and then started apologizing like they were British.
Wait, sorry.
Bang! Sorry. Oh, Hermit, water spray has to be one of the things that you can do with prestidigitation. It's like, bad. Anyway, with that all wrapped up, night comes along. You take some well-deserved rest. Unless there's any RP stuff you want to do, you wake up the next morning with no event, apart from Cora. Cora, when you go to sleep, you feel now a very familiar feeling to you. It's no longer alien, as you feel your body start to fade. You are ready for the smell of summer. You're ready for the smell of petrichor and grass that's been heated to the point where it's almost become hay, of hot, lazy air where everything is done quickly, but then there's resting and revelry and recuperation and good food and just something that you now know is the feel of the summer round. And possibly you're home for eternity. Who knows? As Farewell mops up his sick in the bar, and comes up a little bit later than the rest of you. You settle down, have a quick chat with Eowyn, say, see you on the other side, sit back, allow your body to become heavy and listless. You feel the eyes roll back, and you're starting to become insubstantial to this world. There seems to be a transition that you're accustomed to. It's almost the same. Close your eyes in this world, the feeling of lightness, losing your mass. And then waking, not even waking, blinking as if you were in a daydream. And often you're stood up. You don't wake up in a bed half the time. Sometimes you do. But you just stood there blinking, trying to reorientate yourself as you realize where in the summer realm you are. But not today. You find yourself in Ostagal. Around you is absolute chaos. You see horrible creatures, the likes you've never seen before. But immediately you think, the architect. A strange, featureless creature with the jaws in its stomach scampers along on the wall of the building next to you. You can see that somebody is trying to push away as it's trying to get into the window. It kind of straddles the window, and you have this innate knowledge that the mouth in the stomach is opening up, and as it does so, there's a strange milky fire that's been generated in the mouth. The person inside can see that inside the mouth is a nothingness, a void. And then the entire building flashes. And smoke just starts to billow from the windows. You start throwing eldritch blasts everywhere as you're just trying to fight. You're trying to find out where's everybody else. You start calling out for Eowyn, and Eowyn flits overhead herself, firing her own brand of magic at a small kind of, you're not entirely sure what it is. It seems to be made out of like some sort of organic webbing, like a seaweed bird maybe, but it's shaped more like a manta ray made of seaweed with gaps going through it, and it seems to be flying through the air but without flapping whatever it has that's close to wings. You can see that many of these are attached to the faces of people in the city, and Eowyn goes, I don't know, just react. And she's firing these little motes of fairy fire at this creature to try to take it down. And you see it. Farewell. Torn in half. Both pieces next to each other, next to the rubble of a building. You can see that smoldering next to his body with the obsidian knife dead center of its forehead is this large, lumbering, titanous creature, like a flayed man.
I burst into flames and I leap and I land on them.
It takes a few rounds of you searing into the flesh of this creature to know that it may have killed Farewell, but Farewell killed it. You hear this from the rooftop, and you can see that Eclipse has got like 5 creatures on her, and they're stabbing these horrible kind of, again, this strange gray quills that are coming out of their body, and they're just stabbing them into her body. And she's trying to dodge, but there's no dodging. They're all attached to her. And you can see they're kind of almost hugging her. And as they do so, you can see that their flesh is writhing as these spines are getting sucked into their body and then pushed into her. She's got the lash knife kind of lashing around her, doing damage to them, but not taking them down fast enough. You can see that there's blood just pouring down the side of the building. She clearly climbed up there to try to get out the way of some things. In the distance, you can see blood hunters fighting, dying. Some of them taking on, giant bestial forms to try to tear apart demons that are just reforming themselves out of nothing. They tear a head off, and suddenly an arm just punches itself into the neck wound, and the arm snaps off, splits like a flower, and another head is there. You can see that a tongue comes out, and the tongue suddenly just is covered in spikes, and it wraps around the blood hunter's neck and starts to squeeze, and you can see blood just pouring from the neck of this blood hunter. And as this happens, the bestial form is starting to shrink. You can hear Aiden just shouting commands, but clearly he's losing numbers by the second. Up above, you can see that Glory, or what you hope is Glory, roars overhead. This strange, eldritch, dragon-like creature, as bang, a large creature that makes you think of books of Orcus from the Orcus War, part skeletal, part wings, a Dracolich, an archdemon, you're not entirely sure, but you can see this energy, like this northern lights coming out of what you hope is Glory's form, and you have a feeling that's kind of her bleeding. This fire, almost like mouth to mouth, as Glory's face clamps down on the mouth of the other creature and starts breathing the starfire into the creature's body. The body of the creature lights up, and you think, well, okay, one of us is doing well. And it's at that point you see these long-nosed, giant kind of mosquito demons that you saw before flying overhead, forming ranks like giant living darts, and just starting to bury themselves like drill bits into Glory's body. And you hear, yes, this is how it shall be. This is how it shall be. Oh. I thought I'd killed you, little one. You look around frantically. Perception check.
Oh, that's not great. 6.
You look around frantically, hoping that he's talking about somebody else. This is a disembodied voice. He says, I did kill you. You're not a simulation. You're the real thing. Are you spying on me, little halfling?
No.
Eowyn flips around going, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. She's just like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. We're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be here.
Oh, well, maybe your grand schemes are not as planned out as well as you think.
Well, in that case, thank you for the new data. Kill the halfling. Find out how she got in here. And you can see that all the simulations, the ones attacking Eclipse, who falls dead off the building, they all turn to you. The glory dragon disappears out of existence, and the large kind of pit fiend thing gives this almighty and starts charging towards you. Around about several thousand creatures are bearing down on your position.
I try and do what I would do if I'm leaving the summer realm and heading back home, and I will try and just casually fall asleep.
They're all coming towards you, and you just go.
That nice.
Yeah.
I would like. This is definitely a charisma check. Give me a charisma check. And I'll give you proficiency because you've done this a lot.
Well, my hold on, my charisma check. Yeah. Saving throw or hold on, charisma check. Do I click?
Just charisma check. A charisma check with proficiency.
So, like, if you're a persuasion with proficiency, they just click on persuasion.
Oh, I see. Right, that might. Yeah, that's just the same. I'll click on here. Yeah, and then I need to add. Oh man, my rolls. But add 5, so it's a dirty 20.
Yeah, you realize that even in a dream, if you allow yourself to be taken in by the dream, it will rule your mind, and can do some terrible, terrible things. And you just allow yourself to calm and say, the only way that and you say to yourself in your kind of more rational brain, the only reason I would come here is if this is a dream, which means I can leave again. And suddenly, you disappear. You feel the same lightness of your body as you transubstantiate, and you're there thinking, back to the waking world, back to the waking world. And suddenly, there's this this hand on your arm. And you feel this swirling sensation, maybe of stars. You're not sure, it's going too fast. And suddenly, pulled out of it, you're in the summer realm, in the arms of the Summer King. And he's kind of ripped you hard. I mean, you could feel it. The arm is bruised. And suddenly he's holding you, because he's much taller than you. He's holding you in the air, not quite like a baby or anything like that, but he's holding you as if to say, are you okay?
I was not trying to get here. I was, did you see that?
I could see you were supposed to come to me.
Yeah.
You're mine.
Oh. Uh-huh. Well, do you see where I went?
A dream. Viziers, advisors, to me, now. And, he puts you down on the floor. And you do get, when he says, you're mine, he's saying it in a protective way, not in an ownership way.
Right.
Faye. And people start flocking towards him. He says, Sakura, she went to a dream, but wasn't in the dreaming. Where was it? And Viziers are coming up and saying, I have a feeling that this is going to be as we've seen before with certain otherworldly entities. If you remember, some of the elder god, she was with an elder god. Really?
I didn't think they could dream. I thought the point of these demons was they can't dream.
No, but they can get close enough sometimes. Some of their crazed dreams becomes an incursion in our world.
He was using it as a simulation. He was practicing.
Who?
The architect.
At which point, there's a immediate eruption of conversation and argument and debate amongst everybody around you. They're going, he touched our world. Not our world. Your old world. I need to focus. Passion be my guide. Passion be my guide. Not rage. Passion be. And as he's there reciting it, a very familiar hand is on his shoulder, as Enola connects with her father and brings balance to him. When he touched your world, your old world, he tried to get as much information as he can. He analyzed it. Now, the architect, so I'm told, was a creature of innovation. Yes? He had a creative element to him. But that creative element that the gods have later on became dreams. Our whole realm came to be because that level of freedom was given to all the races of Mundus and many of the other planes as well, to be able to innovate, to create, to imagine. And thus we were born. We are the muses of all creation. By example, by precedent, he learned to dream.
Yeah.
Does he know what he has?
He knew that I was real, that I was there. He figured out that I was there. He thought he killed me.
Did he know you were a dream, Cora? Did he know?
I don't know. He wanted to find out how I got there, and I tried to leave before he could, but I don't know if my leaving gave him a path. I was trying to go back to the waking world and you dragged me here, so I don't know if that path is now open to him.
I'll be in my inner sanctum, so Cora and my daughter will aid me there. Some advisors come forward as if to say, Your Majesty goes, and no one else. They all step back, immediately bow. You can see his eyes at this point are basically balls of flame when he says it. He calms again. You can see these beautiful kind of red, gold, orange eyes. He says, Sakura, I please ask you to come with me.
Of course.
They walk into his palace, into the throne room that you know all too well, and then through a pair of doors that you've never been to before. You can see rooms as you pass this internal sanctum, and you suddenly realize, oh shit, this is the Summer King's residence. I know the whole palace is, but this is his personal residence. You can see as you walk past very strange changes of rooms. One of them is very clearly a pit fighting arena, and you can see blood and very nasty looking weapons. You can see one room that looks, well, not to beat around the bush, like a harem. There's no one in there, but you've seen them before. And that's exactly what it looks like. You see a room that seems to be like a kind of coffee room slash study, a little bit like Garrick's room, Eclipse's friend, but it's torn to shit. The bookshelves have been torn off the walls. Most of the chairs have been broken. He goes up to a substantial pair of doors, beautiful, ornate, gold, gems, artistry, the whole works. No lock, no handles, no seam for them to open, even though it looks like a set of double doors. And as he walks up, he just draws a single line with his finger, and the door seam appears, and they open up. You walk inside, and there's a set of mirrors on the wall. Each mirror has a different set of decor. Some of them seem to be made out of driftwood. Others seem to have kind of like a rotting, kind of like flesh-like mirror. One of them is completely dark, both the glass and the frame. There's lots of them. There's a huge gallery of them. He walks up to one of them and says, "Shall I?" And you notice that this one has a mirror with an ice frame. Not yet. And he walks down a few others, and you can see this one is a wooden frame, but there's actually plants growing out of it. I guess. Yes. Yes. Touches the frame of the mirror and says, "Galadri, I think of you, and I call your name. Please, I beg of you, an audience." The mirror starts to warp. And you see beyond the mirror just a beautiful glade. And standing there, proud, is a centaur. You can see that she looks part warrior, but there's also like a shamanic look to her. She says, "Felmancarius, this will have to happen another time. I need to speak to the king." This kind of knowledgeable but slow and considerate considering voice goes, "Interesting. We shall talk more about this, Galadri. I shall not leave you out, Felmancarius, thank you." And you can hear as hooves gallop off in the distance.
My brain just clicked of who these guys are. I'm like, these names are really, really familiar.
Yeah, they're all canon. Galadri says, "How can I help you, Your Majesty?" I apologize. I understand that the Stonehoofs are needing to worry about their own problems at the moment. But I believe that there's a possibility that we could have an incursion. Immediately, her face just drops and says, "How do you believe this?" A powerful being has learned to dream, or at least has learned to approximate a dream enough to be able to summon a fae. I'm hoping he doesn't figure it out so that he can call her at will. But more importantly, figure out that he now has access to this realm. I was hoping that you would test the borders. Of course, Your Majesty, I would be happy to. This should not take long. And she takes a few objects out of a pouch that she kind of has on her front set of legs. So like big pockets that you can put your hands into. She pulls out a bunch of items. A jaw that seems like it's from a big humanoid creature. Stone. These seem to be fairly mundane items, but she pulls them out with a certain amount of reverence. Each one of them is wrapped up in a particular piece of cloth, and she sets them out just outside of the view of the magic of the mirror, and says, No. This being that you speak of plucked your knight when she was between worlds. He does not have access to this realm. The Summer King throws his head back. Thank Karalan. Okay. I thought we were going to lose our advantage there. But how? How did he How did he take her? She should have enough control to be able to wrestle herself even from his grasp. He may be strong as a being, but he's not a strong dreamer. I believe that Cora chose to go there. And he turns and looks at you. Did you?
I mean, not intentionally, but I've been thinking a lot about what's gonna happen.
Your subconscious is trying to figure out more about him. So that when he reached out to dream of you, your subconscious answered. Okay.
I expect there's a lot of people thinking of him right now.
Did I mention Fae don't have a subconscious?
Well,
it's why I'm a slave to my nature. We don't hide anything. Or at least not from ourselves. Fae you may be, but not fully yet Fae. I fear your duality may cause more problems than it gives boons at some point.
I mean, I'm used to this, but I don't have to come every night, I suppose. If it's going to give him an advantage. He learns really quickly and easily.
No. To avoid confrontation. I do apologize, Calatri, once again. Thank you. I do give my best regards to Lady Alexandra and say that I have received her letter and will be replying immediately. Calatri gives this curt bow and it turns into a regular mirror again. Well, no, as I was saying, you are Summer Court, and the Summer Court does not tread lightly. You need to be sure of yourself when you transition between worlds now. You need to speak out. Anything that's in the back of your mind, you need to bring it forward, Cora. If you are going to continue to be one of us, you need to be ready to let go. Not of the mortal world, but of some of its baggage. We do not doubt. We are. Do you think you can move in this direction?
I can try. I come from there and I can't just forget everything. Not until things are safe.
I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you to do the opposite. I'm asking you to repress nothing. Become the force of nature we are. And you can see that he's bristling with passion when he talks about it. Absolute belief, absolute confidence. I'm not asking you to leave anything behind. That is your story. It is part of you, no different to your arm or your leg. And you said you'd try. You are in the summer realm. We do or do not. We do not try. Do you understand?
Yes.
Failure is part of doing. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Very well. May I see the dream that you were in? Neolothup got it.
I mean, she's hesitant. If we go there again, will we not show him us going?
If you end up there again, remember what you are. He is but a young dreamer. You can show him whatever you like.
Okay, let's go.
Wield the brush. It is not in our nature to lie, but it is in our nature to shout. Try that. Now's as good a time as any. I can feel a restlessness in your city. Time moves differently here. Spend some time. Relax. When you go back, I feel your stories are about to get a lot more complicated. And just quickly, Kate, does Cora spend time with Enola, or is she in a rush to get back? Is she, seizing the moment? How's Cora going to do this?
I think Cora is going to go and see Enola, and she's going to probably have a therapy session a little bit where she tries to pull everything that's been lurking in the back of her mind, and just spill it out. All the worries and things, all of the things that have been happening. She's gonna get it out, trying to pull it from the subconscious into reality and to vent it all and to bring it to the forefront, essentially. So she's gonna do that before she goes back.
I'm sure you've been part of some of the acting workshops that I've been in before, where you try to drop your personal character and be something else, which normally requires you to do things that you've never done before, like getting into people's space or shout at someone or whatever to break the mold. Enola does a bit of that with you. She gets you to shout it from the balcony, to take a petty irritation of yours and to, basically bust up a room over it. She's trying to get it so that there's a free flow of what you are that comes straight to the surface. And she's not kind about it. She kind of tells you that she's doing it for you, but she really lays it on. Everything about you, every irritation, every passion, by the end of it, you're exhausted. You feel like you've been there for days. Remember, she took on part of her father to put him in balance. So she knows about this stuff. By the end of it, you are just kind of lying there covered in sweat on a rug, just looking up at the same summer sky that's always in the summer realm. And, she's still there kind of trying to verbally or physically poke you to see if there's anything else in there. And you feel not empty for a change. You feel more complete, almost like some of these things that were inside of you were like air in foam. And once all the air comes out, all you're left with is this dense, pure mass. And she turns around and says, "Understand now?"
Exhausted but better.
Well, that's progress. And with that, she kind of helps you up to your feet, and says, "Right, time for me." And she gestures, and like a tea set and some and some luxuries appear. And you can tell she kind of wants sofa time before you turn back into reality again. Gives you like a warm smile and walks back. Suddenly a sophisticated lady, when some of the things that were coming out of her mouth no noble would ever say, except from this room. And with that, you wake strangely in sweat-soaked sheets. First time. Well, first time since you started falling asleep this way. Eowyn wakes up and goes, oh, cracks her neck and goes, you're supposed to only have a hangover when you've drunk. Oh. That was one for the books.
Yeah, that was different.
Are you okay?
Yes. It was tough, but strangely... It's better. It's like nothing is hidden from myself now.
She comes up, punches you in the shoulder, and for such a small creature,
Ow.
manages to get a good sock and goes, good. Because I have a feeling that when he comes, you're going to need that.
Yes. That was not fun, seeing that. It took me a little bit to realize it wasn't real. I don't ever want to see that for real.
She flits onto the side dresser, which is basically her bedroom. She's just kind of arranged things on the dresser. And she pulls off the dress that she was not sleeping in because she transitions. She pulls it off and kind of locker room style goes and throws it off to one side. Goes up to a kind of like a Japanese tea set that she's repurposed for like a wash basin and all the rest of it. Dunks her head in the water and kind of, scrubs at her face, pulls it out, the usual kind of thing, a ponytail, flicks the water back. And she goes up to a matchbox and starts pulling out various outfits to decide what she wants to wear that day. And she goes, you know what that disgusting dwarf fellow said?
What?
He was talking about how the gods work on fate.
Mm-hmm.
Think of each of the people that you were paired with. I mean, you're an odd lot. Starts wringing out the water from her braid. I mean, let's face it, not many people have done what you've done. I mean, throughout history, sure, there's been a few, but why you? Why here? Why this story? Why this path? She goes off, opens up a tiny little jar of powder, which you know is tooth powder, sticks her finger in, so kind of freshening her breath and brushing her teeth with her finger. He goes, but have you ever thought of that? Haven't you ever thought of that?
I mean, yes. Why we all got those letters invited? I guess at some point I just assumed that Renata, on her mission to find the perfect timeline, found us and brought us together.
That's one why. But there's the other why. I mean, that's why she did it. But why you? I mean, if you're part of the perfect timeline, why? I mean, we've got abilities, sure, but I mean, we're powerful, but take on a god powerful? What can you bring to it? No offense. I mean, you know, you're pretty awesome. We're
I
pretty awesome. We're a good
thought
team.
the same. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's something. You know? I kind of just want to know there's a purpose in all of this, and that we're not just on some random adventure. I want it all to make sense, you know? And I come from the land of dreams. Things don't make sense in the land of dreams. I don't normally have to need things to make sense. But I need this to. I mean, I'm not afraid. If I die by your side, I'm cool with that. And ordinarily, if I was with any person sworn to the Feywild, if they or I died, we'd just reform in the Feywild. But I have a feeling this guy, he seems powerful enough to be able to make us dead, you know?
Yeah. For someone who is meant to be a creator, he brings a lot of death.
Hang on. Hang on. The part of you that willingly gave access to him wasn't your Fey side. Your
No?
Fey side made the road, but it was your mortal side that called to him.
I don't know whether we can use that to draw him out or to push him somewhere.
She flopped back on a cotton reel chair, kind of one stocking leg off and one not. I think that's it. What if your part of the puzzle is that you're the part he doesn't know what to do with? He's just started learning dreaming, but he's not the expert in it, right? He's the expert of creation, Mundus, this place. And to illustrate it, she gets up and kicks over your glass of water, hits the floor, smashes it all
Okay,
over the place.
unnecessary. Okay.
You really need to get the summer in you, girl. That's what, and she points down at the broken glass, that's what he's good at. He's an expert at that. He's not an expert at, and her wings suddenly erupt from her back, and she passes her hand through her wings. They're light all of a sudden, like a hologram. He can't deal with this. Not yet. You've got the drop on him, girl.
Well, let's hope it remains that way for a bit.
He seems like a fast learner.
He's a very fast learner.
Then how do we use it?
Well, we only have one chance, in a way. Do something once, he learns from it.
Or just keep him guessing.
We need a lot of tricks up our sleeve, and I don't think we've got enough.
She looks down, wringing her hands, and goes, "There's a fucking hole in these ones." And just basically gets dressed, and the rest of the conversation goes on. But it's basically going around in circles at that point. You can see she gets more and more aggravated as it goes round and doesn't seem to progress properly. Wanted to put a little bit of Cora Eowyn life there.
Yeah, thanks.
Everybody else wakes up, and sure enough, there is a courier stood there going, "The convocation is ready. They're just waiting for first light.
Oh, we're gonna go down and have breakfast break.
Yes, we can have breakfast break first because I just noticed what time it is. But yes, and during the 10 minutes that we'll be away, you guys will have had breakfast, and when we come back, you're going to the chapel.
Yes.
We'll see you in 10 minutes time.
Oh! Hold on. I'm not ready.
Sorry,
for
Kate,
No,
dropping down.
right, ready. We're going now. Bye. See you guys in a sec.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
Let's go now. Well, no, clicking the buttons, and we're back. Now we're back.
Are we? We are.
We seem to be. As far as I'm aware, we are back.
We are
Hi,
back.
everybody.
Professional.
I have a lollipop, and I'm gonna make everyone else jealous because I know Simon went, "Oh, why don't we have ice cream?" And you made me think of ice cream, and now I've got an ice cream. I'm sorry.
You have an ice lolly.
Yep.
Get out. Please don't go. You're the producer.
Not actually.
So you guys have breakfast, and you head over to the largest holy structure in the city. The Temple of Pelor, or the Cathedral to Pelor, shoots up out of the city. It's beautiful mixed stone building, different kind of grays and browns and things like that. And the overall effect is kind of, as the sun hits it, is almost this kind of goldish, kind of almost like if gold had highlights and tarnishing to it. The thank you, Scott. So you walk up there and you can see that indeed there are a bunch of people waiting for you. Yeah, I'm not needed, Hermit. I talk too much as it is. So you spot the I think we said before she was Eladrin, Kiana, representing Pelor. You can see the same dwarf friar who now seems to have dressed up a little bit. You can see there's extra to his clothing. There's a mixture of others as well. A dragonborn, a kalashtar, this tall female kalashtar, long kind of cornrows that go down her back, this kind of beautiful bronze skin, and eyes that are actually like metallic gold eyes. Yeah, featureless orbs that are kind of metallic gold. I use 4th edition kalashtar because they were cooler. And there's a half elf that's quite clearly got the Corellan robes on. Oh, I should point out Dragonborn, unsurprisingly, Bahamut. The Kalashtar has Evandra Evandra kind of dress. There is a Tauren who, surprisingly, not to use stereotypes, has the Moradin anvil and hammer on his chest. So you can see this this very large kind of smith one. Trying to see what else we've got here. Very interestingly, a male tabaxi who has the crest of Melora.
Look at him.
Yep. He doesn't look local, but he's got the Meloran seashell and tree on him. And then, which ones am I missing here? There is an orc scholar, full orc as well. You can see, the set of the jaw and all the rest. This isn't a half orc; it's full orc. But you can see that he's got the Eye of Ayun on his chest.
Ayun, sure.
And I'm just trying to see if I've missed anything. Bahamut.
Once they have minus in intelligence as a baseline, nice.
We do not judge.
Or used to have, I should say. I don't think they do anymore.
Bahamut, Cord, Pelor, Evandra is the Kalashtar, Corellan is the half elf, Moradin is the Tauren, Melora. I'm trying to think if we missed
Melora
any.
is the tabaxi.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing 2. Oh, of course, Raven Queen is Farewell.
Farewell. And you said Dragonborn for
Bahamut, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see which one I'm missing. Oh, Arathis. Yeah, Arathis is another Dragonborn, I think. No, Arathis is a gnome. So yeah, you can see this female gnome who MB gnome who is wearing what seems to be kind of like city administrator clothing. And yeah, I think that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then yeah, 10 for fair one.
Who's Sahani?
Sahanin. Oh no, that's the one. That's the one that's missing.
Me. Grabalist.
Yeah. No, I did generate one for each. I just seem to have screwed up here. A non-binary tiefling.
Lovely, lovely.
Yes. Okay. Kiala steps forward and says, "Welcome. Thank you for coming. I've spoken to my colleagues, some visiting Ostergald and some old hands at this. And we've decided that, yes, now is the time. Please, join us at first light." You can see that the dawn has already broken over the horizon, but the sun still fully hasn't cleared the horizon. And the way that the temple has been created, that once it fully clears the horizon, it'll hit a particular window. And that window has a set of prisms and just bathes the inside of the cathedral with shards of beautiful and varying light. As you walk in, you can see that some of the shards are just zoop, 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 appearing on the higher parts of the walls. And you can see that there are more of them that are happening. The sun is about to be in position. Places, please, everyone. And all of the various clerics, friars, you think a couple of them are paladins. Certainly the, where is it? The Dragonborn, Bahamut, is a paladin rather than a cleric. They stand in a row and, well, in kind of a circle, and they wait until all of a sudden a particular zenith is reached. The sun just clears the horizon. At that point, it's exactly the right angle to hit a very narrow prism. And even though the cathedral has started getting these little winks of light, very quickly, within a couple of seconds, everything just blossoms like a large peacock's tail. Like a peacock's tail just suddenly... This entire cathedral has gone from an inside that is mostly kind of a pale, maybe ivory color, to completely bathed in this rainbow of light. The beautiful song comes from choir stalls, and you didn't even look up and you realize that, yeah, the choristers there, and this mellifluous sounds, heavenly sound just cascades over you, at which point all of the clerics start to sing the same hymn. You can see that the light is starting to shine off each one of them, each one a different type of light. You know that each of the holy fires have a different color. Chords is like a steel silver and red flickering fingers of flame. You know that Bahamut has this impossibly purer silver than silver fire. It's actually platinum fire. You know that Pelor's magic comes with a golden fire. But there's just a dim aura of light around each of the clerics as they start with this call hymn. They get lifted up into the air. And it's like, damn it, wasted.
I'm kind of happy that we're not able to screw this scene up too much.
Yeah, you see as all of the clerics suddenly levitate momentarily, they throw their head back, and coming out of their eyes and their mouth is this bright, bright light. At which point you're there thinking, I don't think Farewell's going to be available for this. And they erupt into these columns of light. And suddenly, instead of the clerics there's an angel, a different angel for each god. You look around to see where the clerics are, and
Simon, has the Raven Queen shown all of the gods up and actually turned up in person because it was her favorite person that was summoning it?
you're not sure. You're not sure. You look around as if to say, where are the clerics gone? And you realize the clerics, or at least ghostly forms of them, are levitating above. You can see the Bahamutian angel has a dragon head. It's a dragonborn angel. The Evandra one is kind of a smirking, kind of sass creature that's got, she's seems to be feminine presenting, and seems to be kind of wearing adventurer armor. It looks angelic, but compared to the others, it's kind of more humble. And you do notice that leather boots, only one that wears leather boots. But again, the beautiful wings that come out. The wings differ for each one. The Bahamutian one has, of course, platinum dragon wings. There are varying types of wings. I'm not going to go through each one of all, but the Maradan angel is kind of shorter, stockier, more muscular, with calloused hands. The Pelor one seems to be the most stereotypical angel, this genderless being with kind of like bright olive skin, kind of almost slightly sun-kissed skin, and this kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to call it, maybe a honey blonde hair, not like bright white hair, but like a honey blonde hair. So it's got bits of like a richness to it that reminds you of the sun. The Corellan angel, of course, is elven compared to the others, more elvish appearance. The Maloran angel has a wooden breastplate. Things like that. You mentioned the Raven Queen. The Raven Queen angel has black wings, is wearing armor that seems to have like raven motifs, and I want to fuck with you, is wearing a helmet with wings.
With wings.
On the helmet.
Oh, okay.
You can tell definitely. You can tell definitely female.
Yeah.
And it goes on. So the Sahanin has all the moon motif, and the Cordish angel is this gigantic warrior.
They're angels that represent their gods. Gods.
All flavors of angels. And this has not happened to many people. Okay. At which point, a voice is heard. A disembodied voice in the cathedral.
Hello?
If you're going to be attending, I believe I also have the right. I claim my seat in council. And the doors to the cathedral open up, and you see a few more figures walk in. The figures are, very quickly, a Dragonborn cleric with a very familiar sigil on her breastplate. One that Glory knows well. Tiamat.
No. I did not say we could have any of evil gods here. It was not part of the agreement.
you see a savagely grinning gnome who you're not entirely sure what his deal is, but sorry, her deal is as she walks in with this really, really cruel looking grin on her face. We have a drow walking in, and yeah, absolutely lolf. Kind of
Why
vibes.
are you guys here?
You have a tiefling that has
what I'm not to be.
that has Asmodeus symbol on him. You have an orc that has the Grumpsh symbol on him. You see one what you're guessing is some sort of human variant, beast folk maybe. It's really hard to tell with the hood up, but with the snake motif, you're assuming Zahir. And
I was never gonna get I was gonna have trouble agree and all the good gods to agree. I'm not gonna have them agree with these lots. Why these guys?
Sorry, not really.
No, I am happy about this development.
There is a let's see. There is a very moody non-binary elf who basically has Death Knight written all over him, or Dark Knight, or whatever. Basically, you know, there's a class for this in almost every MMO, and you're kind of like, oh look, the Bane representative is here, and then.
I draw the line at Thursday.
Sorry. The Bane representative, is a Tauren.
Oh.
So you got Tauren Marathon and a Tauren Bane. Interesting. Thank you, random generator. And then a hooded figure of no particular feature. That's it's almost impossible to make out.
I draw the line at Farazun. Anyone that comes in with the fucking madness symbol, I am knifing them right there and then.
I will give it to you. There is no representative of Farazun here. You think. No obvious representative of Farazun.
No one invited you.
Who would speak for them? Who would speak for them? Let's have a go at this. Go on. It would be the tiefling. Gives you this beautiful grin and goes, "So sorry we're late. We had to teleport in, you understand."
Nobody invited you.
You do? Actually, insight check. And I'll allow anybody to take this insight check.
Yeah, sure, why not? Because I'm curious. I'm like...
16.
Sorry, hold on. My computer's on. It goes like, insight check. Let's see. Come on, roll better than you have been. Oh, for goodness sake. 9! God damn it. I'm rolling like under 10s all the time, like 3s and 6s.
Okay. Felicia, are you going to have a pop?
Yeah. Sure. Insight.
Ah, that's just a 14.
Okay. Eclipse, they don't look too prepared. They're all looking around in wonder.
Yeah.
Only the tiefling under Asmodeus was seems to be the one that's looking confident. Everybody else is just looking like they're there because they're there.
We're told to come. I am gonna have enough trouble getting these guys to agree on anything. I don't need you guys in the mix.
That's a bit rude, Cliff.
I do not care.
The tiefling goes, "I don't think it's an option. The rules of convocation any of us can take a seat. Now, if you don't mind, they walk up, and you can see that the angels aren't looking at them particularly aggressively, other than the Bahamut guy.
Yeah, but that's Bahamut, guys.
I mean, I'm on the Bahamut's guy side at the moment.
Yeah, the Bahamut guy looks like, even the Cord guy is looking chill, but the Bahamut guy looks like he's ready to kick off.
Of course.
I look at him. I'm on your side, buddy.
All of the figures that I've just mentioned stand in what seems to be positions. Not that there's any markings or they've not been told, but they seem to face off against the other gods. I would say that the good gods outnumber the bad ones, because not all the good gods are necessarily good. Some of them are kind of unaligned, but happy to work with the good pantheon.
Neutral.
Yeah, they're neutral. And the newcomers throw back their heads, but instead of angels happening, they just end up with basically burning eyes, and their voices change.
Oh, the most evil effects. Are you like trying to play the stereotype? Is that your entire thing? Is that why you go like the burning eyes and be like, oh, evil?
The tiefling now, quite clearly a different being, goes, so confident, little Tabaxi. So confident. You do well amongst my lot. But that's not why we're here, is it? Please, Pelorite, do continue.
Okay.
The Pelor angel says, you have the right. You're well aware of this. A long time ago, we were forced to bind one of our celestial kin. Not the first, not the last, that we would have to bind this way. His own nature consumed him, and so we threw him into a void. We assumed he would be able to entertain himself with his nature. Sadly, it was not to be. He wished to call himself Allfather. He wished to take over. So assured of his genius, which was, in fact, and looks directly at the evil gods, hubris. The evil gods smile back. We come here today at the behest of these young warriors who wish to free us or act on our behalf in the case of creation and his return to this plane. They also wish to ask about freeing a member of our congregation. Throughout history, there have been few champions like he. This is the goal of the congregation, this is of the convocation. Do you accept that this is the goal? Weirdly, everyone in attendance just says aye. Even the Grumsh. Well, yes. You can see gritting the teeth of this follower.
Angels and possessions of the congregation. Convocation. I've asked you here today because, frankly, I need you to take responsibility and to help.
We are able to help the faithful, those who call upon us. That is the rule.
Yes. There are other ways to help them directly. Helping by giving advice and information about things that are no longer known, because we're talking about something that happened at the beginning of time.
We are permitted to furnish you with the information, provided that our masters agree to it. I have a feeling that you won't have any unreasonable requests. So please, Eclipse of the Moon, speak.
Oh, why you let me do this one? Let's go.
Any of you can step up. Any of you can step up, but seeing as there's a bit of Juradan, go for it.
So, the architect. He wants to get back to this world. Why? From what I gathered, he wants to have his plaything back, but that sounds like a really small motivation. Is there something more?
This is the reality that we created. All of us. Everyone in, well, every representative that you see here is connected to a god who invested in this world. Most of us.
Who's speaking?
Still the Pelorite.
Still a paralyzed.
Most of us wish to see the world continue in some way or another. Some of us want to see it in a different shape. Looks at one of the evil gods. I'm going to say Zahir. And some want to just see it broken, but they want to be the ones who break it. The Grumpshaw goes. Either way, our investment in this is complete, unerring. It may seem like a petty motive for such a powerful being. Oh, hello Penny Dragon Games, and thank you for joining us. We're currently talking to an angel of each of the Dawn gods, both good and bad. So, just a small thing of just an angel of each of the good gods and bad gods at the same time.
Not all the bad gods.
Not all the bad gods. Farazun is off somewhere painting, finger painting. Yeah. And you're playing some Dungeons & Dragons. Oh, fantastic. I'll check you out and return the raid at some point, because recently some of the raids we've done haven't been going to D&D streams. We do have other games, by the way, on other days. But we'll mention that at the end of the session. So, what's it to be? The Pelorite kind of says, well, yes. I think we need to say. It's not something they wouldn't be able to figure out themselves, but we have to confirm it. The being that you call the architect never really lasted long enough to have a name. He was a tool. It's not even a he. It's a function. It, I suppose. Most people refer to him as he because in its last moment it tried to be the All-Father, so I suppose that stuck. It wants to come back and break this world just to break us. That's it. The gods are tethered to this realm of existence. If this existence gets destroyed, so do the gods. It's an endgame.
Revenge?
Petty revenge, yes. I don't think gods are beyond that potential. At which point oh god, which one would that be? At which point the gnome goes, well, you'd know all about that, wouldn't you? And the Pelorite says, and so would your master. How are you enjoying keeping him in check? Oh, loving it. Thank you. Torog, if you haven't guessed.
Yeah.
Gods can be petty. For all the power and all the restriction and how they're sewn into reality, they still have feelings, just feelings that they can't always act on, not without breaking the rules. The rules are something that we agreed upon, even as we set to war with each other. It was something that we all forged together, forged into each of our beings, and gestures towards the Raven Queen's angel. When it was necessary, we applied it to others as well. Yes, this is petty revenge. Also, some would consider this somewhat of an end game. If the architect comes back to this realm of existence and destroys this mortal realm completely, it will untether all the other realms connected to it. This is the axis, the crux, the epicenter of the whole celestial map. If it succeeds, the architect will rip apart this existence, and all other existences connected to it will unravel. True destruction would have been achieved without other people doing it. And the Grumsh all just goes, yeah. And he'll reset, build reality anew, except with a single overarching, merciless God.
Then why did you give him that much power to begin with?
How can I explain this? And it's actually the Tiamatian that steps forward and goes, daughter, you should know already.
No way.
There's like a female voice coming out of what I think was a male paladin. Let me just check. Random NPC generator says, yes, transmale Tiamat cleric. He turns around and says, daughter, you should know this already.
My queen.
Care to venture a guess?
Folly. Not thinking that your own creation would seek to destroy you.
If only it was that simple. It has the power because he is the power. Which brings us, I believe, to the sticky question, or at least the problem that we're going to have. But I'll leave that to my dear cousins across the way there to explain. You can see that as this avatar is speaking, the eyes keep changing color as they flick between the different colors of Bahamut's
Tiamat's, not Bahamut.
not Bahamut's, Tiamat's heads. Almost like each of the heads is trying to control an eye at a particular time. It's a little disconcerting.
I'm thinking at session, like any sudden movements and we kill them all.
You think that to Sashul, yeah?
Yeah, I'm thinking to Sashul, I'm like any sudden movements and there is gonna be lots of stabbing.
Do you feel like this is the first time that the homicidal sentient knife at your waist is purring? It's either vibrating excitedly or purring. Either way, you get a please. Yes, please. Let me have them.
Oh dear.
But in the presence of what are messengers of the gods, even Sashul knows better than to just go off half-cocked.
Yes.
And it's actually Moradin's angel that steps forward. We cannot kill it.
Of course it's Scottish.
Obviously, since you need us to do it.
No, you don't understand. You cannot kill it.
If it was So, about 1,000 years ago, another manifestation the architect was trying to get in. It was banished by a champion of Palo called Jordan.
There's a hissing from the evil side of the lines and a smug look on the face of the Corellan angel. The Pella one is above that and simply gives a thin smile and says, that was not the architect itself. More a being, a scout that was sent through a rift between worlds. But yes, you are correct. Joradan the Great was able to channel the power of Pelor and destroy it with a single touch. And in doing so, we gained our own strength against your architect. You seek to end his suffering, his penance, yes?
Yes, Jordan's, yes.
You have the touch of destiny upon you.
People keep saying that.
Our requirements have been met. You will not find us stepping in your way if you wish to go and reclaim him. His penance may come to an end.
Good, that's one thing off the list then.
I assume that the representative of Asmodeus agrees. The Asmodeus tiefling says, we aren't going to dispute you going at all. In fact, I'll even go as far as to say that we will not try to stop you. However, we would like to offer a deal.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Okay, go on. What is it?
When the city was cut off from this reality, some of our kin were inside.
Yes, that part we know. Starving devils.
We starved differently. We know better than to ask for Karnatava back. Although we would like to talk to her at some point.
I don't
A
think
family
she wants
reunion.
I don't think
if
she
you
wants
will.
to talk to you.
I don't think so either. How astute of you. But those who are trapped within that pocket dimension undoubtedly will want to come back to the pit. What we wish is, if you take this deal, we will send you with a banner of Dis. While you wield the banner, you may command parley with the devils in the city. If you choose to, you can convince them to just go home.
Won't they get home if we just kill them because they can't die on this plane of existence, so they will just go home anyway?
But in doing that, you will take on heavy, heavy losses.
I don't
A banner
particularly
of
feel
Dis.
like flying that flag myself, but how about an addendum to the deal? Send up my cousin, would you? He can hold it and do the talking for us while we press on to our goal.
Who would your cousin be?
Excellence, Tezcatlipoca.
Give me an insight check.
Yeah, sure. Roll better this time. Oh, that was a nat 20, so 26.
Yeah, he knew exactly who your fucking cousin was. He's asked you to name the name, feigning ignorance, but he knows exactly who your cousin is. He turns to you and goes, he has a little bit of community service that he needs to atone for anyway. I think this would be a good exercise for your dear cousin. Do we have a deal? Excellent Tezcatlipoca will accompany you with a banner of Dis. When you enter the Golden City, he will negotiate, and any devil that wishes to return to the pit will be given the chance to do so without incident.
I do believe we have a deal.
Is there any caveats to this? Any loopholes? What is the fine print?
None at all. None at all. We just simply wish to regain our numbers. Some of the devils that we sent to the Golden City a long time ago were champions of ours that we need in the Blood War. You're simply going to reinforce us. In return, you won't have to face said champions.
I mean, that's if they want to go back. They might not want to.
I'm confident.
They can't take anyone with them.
That sounds like a good addenda.
What do you mean, little halfling?
I mean, the devil can go back, but if for any reason they have anyone within their grasp or any souls, they have to release them.
Yes.
The Ioun Angel has a shit-eating grin on their face. Ioun is non-binary in my world, and so is the angel. Just a shit-eating grin on the Ioun Angel face.
That definitely felt like a trap of like they want to go back and they take shit with them. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, it's fine.
I'm supposed to be good at this, and I'm like blabbing.
I know
I
the
still
feeling.
think you did a fucking good move going, sure, but excellence has to hold it. You've just sprung your cousin from hell, no less. He is never going to be able to one-up you.
No, he isn't.
Yeah. And you do get arguably one of the best wizards currently in the mortal world.
Wizard Warlock.
Yeah, he's got a few ranks of warlock, but you do arguably get like one of the best portal wizards in the world back on your side.
Yeah.
Very well. We specified the the devils. It shall be, as you say, just the devils.
Yes, Kate speaking. I don't really get the difference, so I don't know. I just know that there's the whole soul problem, right? They could be possessing
people. They could have they could have souls that they have basically trapped in soul cages inside them.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's a lot of shit. You basically just said, yeah, if they got any souls, they have to release them.
Yeah. They can go on their own with nothing else.
Yeah. Very well. We shall arrange, once this convocation is over, for excellent Tezcatlipoca to come with a banner of Dis. The convocation is far from over. There's a lot more that you're going to be able to learn now that you have access to a representative of every god in this canon.
Yeah.
However, we've reached 11 o'clock, and that means that we could bring Nick in next time. And yes, don't worry, I wrote in a way for him to join us.
All of this, please.
Yeah.
That's right.
My brain is mush. I'm already ill. I'm thinking hard.
So I don't know many. I don't know many games that have got to this level. Certainly, that my experience of a lot of D&D games in the past normally have got to kind of a level where the DM goes, "Oh, they're really powerful," and then ends the campaign. At the level that you're at now, yes, you can get an audience with maybe not the gods themselves, but certainly high representatives of gods that speak with that god's voice. Mm-hmm. When you get to a cleric back next session, we're going to go deep. you will have access to speak to even the evil gods of the canon.
Yeah.
Okay. I did change this part of the campaign because we lost a lot of sessions and things like that. Originally, what was supposed to happen is that when Eclipse asks for the convocation or asks to speak to Pelor, because she's been going on about this for a while, I had written that some of the evil gods were going to go to Glory and ask her to, to not represent them, but to allow them to be part of the talks, because most of the evil gods don't want to see the architect win either.
No.
Yeah, they just don't want to look as willing. Because we had less time, I just sprung that extra thing where you got, what was it, so the Warriors of Light, the Warriors of Light, and the Warriors of Darkness all getting together in the same room.
Mhm.
And so you can now do something which I don't think I've ever had an experience of doing myself in D&D, and that is having a, what was it, Ask Me Anything, an AMA with any of the gods in the Dawn War D&D canon. Okay. So we're going to finish off there tonight. If you enjoyed our particular brand of chaos tonight, you can get more. We are changing our lineup. So Mondays when we had Numenera, we do not have Numenera currently. We do have an offline game that the Chaotic Neutral community do. We do have a lot of offline games, both computer games and RPGs. Tuesday nights, the Pallid Man has just finished as well. So both Monday and Tuesday nights are off for us at the moment. But we do have a new show coming in on Tuesdays. And once I've wrapped up in about 5 weeks or so, we will have a new one coming in on Monday. So Community Call, we are going to be playing Versen. We have been looking forward to doing this for a very, very long time. We have got not only the Versen book, which we will be starting with. This is the Swedish Versen look from Free League. But I also have backed the Kickstarter for...
Ligan, yes. Ligan is the proper name.
Yeah. We also have backed the Kickstarter for Versen, Britain, and Ireland. And I'm really excited about that. I'm a Welshman myself, so I grew up with a lot of the folklore and really, really pleased about some of the stuff that's going to be coming in as well. On Thursdays, we will have our continuing saga from a master of White Wolf canon. We have our very own Mage Dave continuing with Cloudgate, a Mage the Ascension game. I'm so glad to be able to have him on this channel. I was a member of one of his Mage games a long time ago. And he's continued with this kind of canon, and it is his game, and it's an absolute delight to be around. So you can join us on Thursdays, usual time, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time on Thursdays. Then Friday, hopefully we'll have everybody back, and we will be talking to the Dawn War gods, and having the opportunity to see how they all work together, find out how gods are limited and how they work and how they tick next Friday. But as I say, we have Versen coming up. We've got another show on Tuesdays coming up, which I can't tell you about yet. And we have got some other things brewing. We have had word of potential Paranoia to be played in Chaotic as well. That's been teased by our very own Mike, who has just finished the Pallid Man triptych. And I don't know whether that's going to be on stream or off stream. We're still deciding on that. And we are currently recruiting a few more people to produce and DM as well. That's going to be people that we trust, obviously, to keep the sanctity of who we are and what our community is. In the meantime, if you want to join with our chaos, you can see the Discord link that Hermit has very nicely put in into the chat. Thank you very much for that. Come, say hi, tell us how you found us, because otherwise we think you're a bot and we'll kick you out. And join with the games there, whether it be computer games or off-screen RPGs. You can also support us, of course, once you get to know our stuff a little more by becoming a subscriber. Other than that, we are going to go and find somebody to raid. So we're going to say goodbye now. Have a fantastic weekend. Come, say hi, play games, and meet each other. Until then, good night.
See you later.
Bye.